Oh, hey, hola y buenos dias. Thanks for being here. This is a Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 sort of overview presentation to kind of give, excuse me, you and your family a better idea of what to expect. Having said that, what I'm going to do right now is present a slideshow that I've put together. And it looks like we've got that going. Okay. So again, it's for Spanish 1 and Spanish 2 here at Rex Putnam High School. Bienvenidos, as I said, thank you very much for taking the time to be here and watch this today. I know that things are super crazy in our world right now. And that being said, you taking the time to inform yourself is a good thing. So I'm gonna keep moving along here. So we're gonna do just general points of what you're going to see in the presentation today. So I'll give you a brief introduction of who the teachers are for Spanish 1 and 2, an explanation of our Spanish program for Spanish 1 and 2, as well as an understanding of our core practices as the Spanish program, and then what to expect during your synchronous and asynchronous sessions. So who am I? I am George Bumper Dames. Bumper is my nickname, but at school I go by Profe or Profe Dames or Dames or Mr. Dames. I've been at Putnam since 2013, and I'm currently teaching Spanish 1 this year, as well as our IB Spanish B 4th and 5th year class. So, hey, our other teacher, who I don't have a photo of right now, is Profe Long, and she's been here as well since 2013, and she's teaching Spanish 2 and Spanish 3, our first year IB Spanish class. So what's our approach to language acquisition in Spanish 1 and 2? The best way to explain it, I think, at first is to go over what we're not. So what we are not is a traditional grammar-focused program in which we're studying Spanish and going over verb conjugation charts and when you can only use this verb and in comparison to that verb, excuse me. We're not a program where you're going to be taking a textbook home and doing exercise after exercise, say in a workbook, and then turning that in for homework to demonstrate mastery over the language and the concepts that we've been studying. And we're not also going to be a program that expects you to speak a lot of Spanish on your own right now because you're in first or second year. We can't quite do that yet, but we're going to work our way there. Instead, we are a program that teaches language acquisition, which is essentially another way of saying learning Spanish, acquiring the Spanish versus studying Spanish or analyzing it like a linguist would. So what you will be doing, you will be surrounded by the language. There's going to be a lot of Spanish being spoken around you in this program. And when I say a lot, I mean it's limited, and you're going to get familiar through repetition of hearing certain conversations or questions. You will learn to read and write and speak the language in meaningful and authentic ways. So the things that you write about will not necessarily be just activities that have to do with the grammar concept that I was talking about earlier. Instead, it will be more authentic. In other words, a native Spanish speaker could pick up what you're writing, read it, and understand what's going on in the writing sample that you've created. And I'm telling you, you will make mistakes. And guess what? That's all good, because when you make mistakes, you're learning, you're demonstrating that you're taking a risk. That's what we want. So it's okay to make those mistakes. So this program really focuses on communicative input. In other words, speaking in ways that you as the listener can understand. We want you to acquire the language through what you hear and read and what people are saying around you. And one way to think of this is when you are a baby, when you were a baby, people in your family did not sit you down and instruct you through a grammar book. Instead, they just spoke the language that was being spoken in your house, and you as a child acquired it over time because that's what was being spoken around you. And so we try to mimic that in this classroom setting. And I say this classroom setting, which is a little weird because we're now having to do it virtually. And I know that it's not going to be nearly as successful as it is when you're here in person, but we're going to do our best, okay? And so with your help and participation, I'm pretty sure that we can make a really good go at it. Some of the core practices of our program here is that we use the target language 90% of the time. Now we're going to have to work our way toward that. So that's we're speaking Spanish, or the teacher speaking Spanish 90% of the time. So, but limiting the amount of Spanish that he or she is using. So trying to keep a certain set of vocabulary being used over and over again. We're going to make a lot of communicative activities for you where you're going to be able to speak person to person, interpersonally, or in pairs, or maybe in a small group breakout session, or even in the large group synchronous sessions. We'll also use authentic cultural texts, so be it a song or be it an article or a book that is short, but still in Spanish that you will read for practice. We'll also teach grammar as a concept or an idea to you, not necessarily something that you have to memorize and through rote memorization. And finally, we really want to provide you with some appropriate feedback so you can eventually start to self-correct for your own understanding through reflection. But yeah, the Christopher Walken GIF here, yeah, we want to provide you as much input as we can. In other words, we want to provide you as much understandable Spanish as we can throughout the year and these courses. So you've heard this term synchronous sessions or synchronous time, I'm sure, a lot from your other teachers. And so that's when we're all together online. And we'll do that twice a week. And then during that time, what will happen over about an hour is that you'll have lots of opportunities to listen to Spanish that's appropriate to your level. I'm going to give you a lot of chances to move about through a technique called total physical response, in which we will associate words with movements. And for those of us who like to move around a lot, that's pretty helpful because our muscle memory can actually help with our language production. You will also have lots of opportunities to write and discuss in Spanish, like what we've learned in a lesson or what we've learned from a story that we've been studying. And then we'll also have some moments to speak the language structures that we've been practicing in class. And that could be in a small group, it could be in a large group, or it could even be one-on-one with me. And of course, you will receive lots of stories and books throughout the year to read both in class and while you are away. And so while you're away, that's one way of describing the asynchronous lessons. And the asynchronous lessons or sessions or times on your schedule, those are the afternoon hours. And it doesn't necessarily have to take place right then and there in the afternoon. It might be something you're busy because you're working or you're helping out a family member, maybe watching a little brother or sister or a cousin. And so you're not gonna be able to get to the work that you have as homework until later in the evening, and that's fine. But I hope you don't work too late at night. Got to say that. But what you can expect during these times is it's just a way for you to understand a bit better through practice what we've been going over in class. So some of the activities in Spanish 1 and 2 include listening to songs, completing some vocabulary activities, and like I was saying earlier, reading some short books that are appropriate to your level, some stories and or articles. And then we will eventually have some projects that will roll out that you'll complete during these asynchronous sessions. Well, that's pretty much it for today. If you have any questions, you can email me. There's my contact information. And so really, gracias. And I really appreciate it. I can't wait to see you guys in Spanish 1. So take care. And oh wait, I gotta stop presenting this and stop the recording. Okay, adios.